Yeah, give me a sec.
Yeah, that Warframe Tenno Drums HD.
That is not the song we were going into.
Yeah, ready?
We found a song we're going into.
Yeah,
Hey! Good evening, everyone. This is Nerd Dungeon. That's Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I'm Connor.
I'm Spencer.
I'm Hef.
I'm Geo.
Yeah! Gio's back. Giovanni. I always call him Joe because he says he hates being called Giovanni.
Oh, I'm Joe.
You said you hated being called Giovanni, right?
Yeah, it's Giovanni.
Your name's spelled Giovanni.
Giovanni, yeah. But everyone at work calls me Geo.
So then you just kind of rolled with it now?
I bear and grit it, yeah.
But you introduced yourself as
Oh, I'm Joe.
Do you because you're saying you grit it, but then you introduced yourself as
Yeah,
it.
I know.
You're like fighting your own.
It's like Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, you're like beating your own demon there.
Yeah.
Do you because you're saying you grit it, you fucked it up. There you go.
I had to change the title, remember?
Oh yeah.
Thought we
yeah.
went back in time.
Yeah,
for a
right.
second.
We heard ourselves for a second there. It was all crazy.
It's that rift of time just opened up.
Bring that down a little bit. It's a little loud. It's a little louder than we are. Just keep it.
Hold on.
Come on. Almost. Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, fun stuff. This is the modern day age. We fuck things up with a Mac.
We're chaotic on Kaotic Radio after all, so.
We are chaotic. That is true. So this is Thanksgiving weekend. It's a fun time. Turkey time. Yeah. I don't know how you guys' Thanksgiving is. We'll talk about that in a second. I had a pretty good Thanksgiving. We went with my brother's house and we ended up playing Mario Party on fucking the Nintendo Switch, and we put a good chunk of time in that. But it was really funny because my brother's girlfriend, she was like, "Yeah," and then like 2 turns in, she's like, "Nah."
I'm not into this anymore.
That's kind of how Mario Party is. Like, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a great time playing Mario Party," but then comes the time when you get messed over with just that one bad turn.
She didn't even get messed over. She just wasn't having a good time with it
Oh.
because she has not played it before. Surprisingly, it was really funny. My brother's like, "You never played Mario Party?" He's like, "How the fuck?" He's like, "I gotta leave. Bye."
None of the old
It's like I'm
ones.
rethinking this.
Yeah, none of the old ones or anything. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy. He was just like, "What?" But yeah, we ended up playing that actually a pretty good chunk of time. New Pokemon as well. Fun stuff.
How was that?
It's good. Actually, we can talk about that before we go into the whole Thanksgiving thing, since we spoke about it a little bit last week because it came out. Now, Spencer and I have both played it. He beat it already.
Yeah.
I'm still playing it, but I already know my opinion of it. You know, I'm pretty good at that judgment when it comes to,
The new ones?
judging games in general. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I can tell what a game is going to be like after about 3 hours. I can have a good assessment of how it's going to be. I mean, if a game has like a story going on and I'm not liking the gameplay or whatever, I could be like, okay, this story might be worth it though.
Right, like
And
it's interesting. You're willing to dig into it a little more.
yeah, like I'll go ahead and cut through a game and be like, okay, yeah, like there's some twists and turns and some like reason to do it. But it's like if it's just shitty,
Yeah, if you're not
I'm
having
just
a good
like,
time.
yeah, like that's what happened with me with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the Switch. That was a game where I just didn't like it. And, it was funny because people are like, oh, you got to get to this part. I'm like, I got past that part.
Oh,
And then they were like, really? And I'm like, it wasn't good, mate. It just wasn't good.
All right.
That game had terrible voice acting. It was one of those. It's like one of those anime games where the characters say like one-liners while they're fighting.
oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Constantly.
yeah, constantly.
So they repeat it over and over.
in the same fight.
Oh.
Like the guy's like, let's show them a thing or 3, and then it's like, I'll protect you. Let's show them a thing or 3. Fucking every fucking 10
Right.
seconds. It's like, you guys, if you're gonna make them talk, you should have recorded like 450
Way more lines.
fucking
Yeah.
voice lines per dude.
No, you see,
No,
because it's a translated game, they decided to cut the budget on the translating.
Well, even the original, I found out, has a weak amount of fucking dialogue during the combat. They recorded like 10 lines, and I thought I was gonna add more as the game progressed.
Right.
It's the same 10 lines for like I got like 15 hours into the game and was like,
You gotta memorize.
What is
not
this?
doing this.
Is this like the late 90s, early 2000s?
This is made 2017.
But it's just you expect that quality out of like an early PlayStation game.
Yeah, right.
Well, you see, this is a JRPG that is beloved by its fans simply because it's part of the series.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like getting a Dynasty Warrior games. I love Dynasty Warriors, but the game is exactly the same every time.
It is.
But the game,
Except for the one they changed,
ass.
apparently.
The game is ass.
I love Dynasty Warriors. I'll
Come
play
on,
the shit
You
out
got
of Dynasty Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors out of that, so.
Yeah. No, those games they're mindless fun. Dynasty Warrior games are really fun when you're really drunk. Like, I don't know if that says much to its like goodness as a game.
Dynasty Warriors is a game where you can knock a few brews back, be hanging out with your friend.
A whole case, maybe.
It's like a case each, and you're just like fucking. You're on a real bender, man.
And you're just talking shit the entire time you're playing to the computer because you're like.
They should release Dynasty Warriors Sailor Jerry edition. Just fucking a bottle of rum will do.
I'll be down for that.
You take a shot after each combo.
You fucking take a swig.
Combo?
Hey, we have a studio. We should do that one day.
That sounds like it'd be fun. Yeah, Dynasty Warriors Sailor Jerry edition.
And B walks in the next morning, we're all passed out. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, none of us left. We're just fucking partying. It's like, oh shit, it's 4 a.m.
It's like I'll just take off work on Sunday and then stay all night.
No, actually, be reaction guy. You guys
Yeah,
have fun?
because we moved the show to Saturday nights,
Hey.
we can do stupid shit like that in the studio. There's no one else coming here. We can do all kinds of weird, dumb shit. No homo. Anyways, Pokemon. So let's get. I feel like your opinion's more negative than mine.
Yeah,
So I'll let you start out with the negative.
My opinion is negative strictly because I'm a more like I guess serious type of Pokemon player. I'm all about abilities and hold items and setting up your team to actually work in a specific kind of way.
Oh yeah, I do that too though.
But in Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, the choice of Pokemon and their moveset is pretty much only limited to Gen 1 and Gen 2 moves from what I noticed. There's very few outside of that other than like the special moves your partner can learn.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's
other than the Buzzy Buzz and
all those weird things.
Eevee has all the best moves in the game. And the game ended up becoming for me more of I just got to have bigger numbers to win instead of actually like having that strategy that I really liked from Pokemon and began to love and go into like catching specific Pokemon and be like, oh, I want this one with this specific ability. Going to Pokemon Let's Go, I didn't have that.
Well, that's the thing though, is they have the what you call it, the little device that you get once you catch 30 Pokemon, and it shows you their stats.
It shows their effort value, but you still don't have abilities, which are a huge part inside of regular Pokemon play.
That's fair, but I mean, like, the way I look at it is, it's because it's got that subtitle. It's Let's Go. It's not Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's Pokemon Let's Go this.
Yeah, it's definitely a more casual Pokemon. And
yes.
I wasn't expecting that. I followed as little coverage as they revealed info on Pokemon Let's Go.
Yeah, I did as well. Because I'm not one who actually likes to look at trailers and hype and all that stuff, because what I've come to find is that usually when you watch too many trailers and get involved with all these posts and stuff, just rumors start going, and there's expectations start going awry. This is what the game's gonna be, and then fans take it all the fuck over, and then
their imagination runs wild, and then they're thinking this guy's gonna be in it, and
right,
or they're gonna have extra content, and then when it comes out,
and then and everyone's pissed. That's what happened with that. I mean, Fallout 76, granted, has some major problems, but
no, never.
But there's a big but here. Fallout 76 is exactly the game they said it was gonna be.
Ain't no No Man's Sky here.
Yeah, they released the game that they said was going to happen, but the problem is so many of the fans were like, oh, what about this? Ooh, what if you can control the radio station? Oh, wait, what if we can be the legions and all that stuff? And it was like, no, guys, it's just West Virginia and things to kill. And they out the gate were like, there's not NPCs, there's just like mobs, you know.
This is just Rust with the new skin.
Yeah, really, like it's a survival game of just like, you know, go out and do some stuff, and you're exploring the wasteland before society comes back and stuff, and people just didn't really click that moment. They were like, this is not the Fallout, this is da-da-da. And it's like, guys, they told you this is the game you're getting. It was kind of like someone was like, hey, you want me to shit in your sandwich? And the person was like, is there almonds in that? and then there weren't almonds. And they were like, this is shit. And it's like, yeah.
But yeah, my final opinions on Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. It's a beautiful game.
It does look really nice. It's got great music.
I love it. And everything about it other than Pokemon battling is great. I like catching Pokemon except when it becomes a chore towards the post game.
Because you want to complete that Pokedex.
Oh, if you want to actually beat master trainers, you've got to catch like 200 chances just to get your party up.
Yeah, I noticed that because, you know, I just when I got to the level 30 thing, you know, once I realized, oh, that Pikachu I've been raising is ass.
Yeah.
I was like, that one is a shitty Pikachu. I'm going to go back and grab another one and raise that one up because this Pikachu is not going to be fighting fit. And
you can always use bottle caps on it.
You fucking could.
Once you beat the game.
Fuck that. I could also just go to Viridian Forest and spend like 30 minutes and then be like, oh, there's a good one. That one's got high speed and high special attack. Like, and it was fine. Yeah, now we're good. And, you know, but that's my point is, see, the thing about this game that I really like, that's just a huge breath of fresh air, because so here's how I am as a Pokemon gamer. I'm a man child and just love Pokemon for one, and but I fucking hate random encounters. Like, it kills me on a lot. Like the times I can forgive it is for some reason when I'm like playing an older game, and my mind kind of is like, yeah, I'm playing an old school game. That's just kind of how it is. But the other day, like right before I got Let's Go Eevee, I actually boot up Pokemon Blue on the Game Boy because my buddy Angel, he was all like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing to get Mew at fucking Lieutenant Surge's City area right there by the SSN. Can't remember what it's called.
That doesn't...
It's exactly. He was doing it as a joke, and I was like, that'd be cool is if they put Mew at Nugget Bridge, like the actual way that works, you know. And then he was all actual way, and I was like, it works. And then so I spent, you know, the better half of an afternoon booting up Pokemon Blue, and then fucking taking myself in out at the moment and being like, and then activating the fucking Mew glitch, and I was like, told you it works. You know, no fucking hacks or anything. That's just an actual glitch in the game. And the thing is, though, is that requires you get to, you know, Nugget Bridge, Misty's Town, all that stuff. Vermilion? Yeah. It requires you get there. Which meant I had to go through Mount Moon. I had to go fucking all that. Random encounters fucking suck. Okay? Like, dude, especially in the early games, there's a shit ton of them. Like, you walk like 3 steps and it's like... And you're like, God fucking damn it, shit, I'm fighting another Zubat. And it's
hey man, just remember on floor 3 of Mount Moon, you have a 5% chance of getting a Clefairy.
Yeah, and you know, that's what I'm saying is great about fucking Let's Go, is there's no random encounters, and the Pokemon are walking around, you're like, oh, I need a Clefairy, there's one right there. I'm gonna go get that Clefairy. But, and then if you see a Zubat, you're like, oh, fuck that guy. Oh, fuck that one. Oh, shit. Fuck that Onix.
You're just dodging them.
Just walk.
Onix just takes up the whole screen.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, I don't need another one. But you can dodge from. Like sometimes they pop up right in front of you, and you're like fuck, and then you get hit by one.
Like Onyx when he pops up, it's like you gotta be lucky if he doesn't get you.
Yeah, dude, Onyx just like pops right the fuck out. He's just
pops
like
up
bam.
and he's like,
what's up, I'm
he's
Onyx.
like 8 times as big as your actual character.
Yeah, he takes up half the fucking screen. It's crazy. I mean, because it's to scale.
Yeah. He's a big boy.
Yeah, but see, I like that about it is that, for one, like it's not just nostalgic, like, I mean, like Gen 1 definitely has a huge nostalgic bump, so it's nice to go back and see that. My 2 favorite gens are 3 and 1, and 1 mostly because of nostalgia, but 3 legitimately I just always liked it, which I found was funny because recently, like 2-3 years ago, when they came out with the remakes of Sapphire and Ruby, everyone was like, yeah. But I distinctly remember everyone talking shit.
Everyone's always hated Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah, like
it's been a known fact through the community that everyone hated it, and I still don't know why. It was a great game. It added a whole bunch of mechanics, and it also gave us the what was it, the beauty pageants or
the
trainer contest.
Yeah, exactly. It gave us that, and it also it just had it had the berry system way more advanced. Like they had it in gold and not gold and silver.
They had silver and gold.
Yeah, I remember it was in crystal. I didn't know if it was in gold and silver.
It was really weak.
It was very rudimentary, yeah. But it was like, and then that's also when that's when they brought in all the hardcore stuff that you were talking about was in 3, and I always liked that one a lot. And I remember, Angel, same guy we were talking about earlier. I remember when I told him 3 was my favorite back in like high school, he's like, that's the hipster generation. He's like, fucking no one likes 3. And then as soon as they announced 3, everyone was like, fuck yeah. But then as soon as like the hype died and like the game came out, it's like you don't hear people talking about it at all anymore. Like no one gives a shit about 3 again. And I'm like, yeah, I still like it. That's like my favorite generation, but whatever. What's funny is I also like it because of the water. I've always had this like, I love the ocean and sailing and all that stuff. So that's why 3 for me was always cool, but that's everyone's complaint.
So much water, especially with how they had they added waterfalls and diving. I think that was also another thing that people hated is that you needed 2 more HMs for your
traversing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be the one thing that I think everyone hated.
Yeah.
But they got rid of it. No more HM needing.
Going back to Let's Go. That's where catching the Pokemon is rather cool because you don't have to fucking fight everything. You just catch them with Pokeballs, and it's not so much like you just catch them. It still takes some work to fucking catch those
jump
motherfuckers.
All around.
They jump in,
they break out of the ball all the time.
Yeah, and you have to aim. You actually have to aim the fucking ball when you're throwing it because you use the motion sensing. I mean, you can use non-motion sensing, but
it's probably better to
so there's 2 different ways of doing it. If you're doing it handheld,
technically 3 different because there's the Pokeball Plus.
Oh, sorry, Pokeball Plus. That's exactly the same as a Joy-Con, isn't it?
Kinda, but you can actually throw it. That's what's cool about that.
You can actually throw the ball.
Yeah, because it's it's not just on the wrist strap. It also has this little ring that you put on your finger. So it's made so that you can actually throw it and let go, and then you pull your finger back and it'll snap back to your palm.
Is it like a yo-yo?
Almost. Like it doesn't have any stretchy or anything like that, but it's made so that instead of just flicking with your wrist, you actually throw it.
Okay, so
you let go of the Pokeball.
That's way cooler.
And yeah, I love it, dude. I feel like maybe the Pokeball Plus is what makes the game so much fun for me. For one, that thing's built really well. I mean, if anyone out there is thinking, "Oh goddamn, that's $50. I don't know if I want to spend it." It's well worth it. First of all, it's got that soft touch plastic feel to it. It's almost rubbery, but it's firm.
That matte finish kind of thing.
Yeah. So when you get it, you're just like, "This is well made," and it's got a real thumbstick on it. That's tiny. It's the smallest thumbstick. It almost has me thinking that the possibility of them making a Switch Mini is possible because this thumbstick is so well made. I'm like, this thing is tight. It's half the size. The Nintendo Switch's thumbsticks are already small. This thing's half the size of the Nintendo Switch thumbstick. I would have brought it today, but I think I accidentally left it at Miguel's house because I went hanging out with him yesterday. We were playing board games, but it's got a full thumbstick, and it only has, you click the thumbstick down for a button. It has a button on top. When I originally saw the pictures of it, I was worried that it was just straight up a button on the top of the Pokeball, and I was like, oh, that'd be weird. Like, you have the round Pokemon, it feels good, and then it's like, oh, and then a button.
Right.
But it's a underneath the material button. It seamlessly goes from like that soft touch plastic to rubber, and the rubber covers the button.
Right.
So you click into it, and it's got a ring, a dimple to show where the button is, and that's like the only thing that actually lets you orient it when you're not looking, because it's a ball. So if you're holding in your hand and you have up, down, left, right, there's a lot of times where like you'll hold in your hand, you're like walking left when you want to go up, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta
reorient.
Yeah, but because of the little ring on top, it's very subtle, but it's enough to be like, there's the top. So and you can throw curves on that thing. Like, if you like twist it when you throw it, it'll fucking do the curve, like when you're doing on
so that one can actually do curves.
Yeah. And it's pretty rad. Like, it makes it to where you're just and it vibrates and makes sound effects, like when you catch Pokemon, like the doo-doo, doo-doo, and it has the 3D rumbling like in the Joy-Con, so it feels like it's shaking back and forth, even though it's not. I don't know if you've ever felt the 3D rumble in a Joy-Con, but you can feel motion in it,
like in a controller.
Yeah, but
it's got two.
It's got these haptic feedbacks. Like, have you ever felt the Apple motor in like the newer iPhones? They have that like.
Basically, if you're holding it, you could feel it. Like, there would be a weak rumble right here, but a strong one right here, making it seem like it's going.
Oh, it's coming from the left side.
Yeah, like it's very precise. Like, there's games.
Was it 1-2 switch, right?
Yeah, in 1-2 switch, there's a game where it's mimicking that you're holding a box with marbles in it, and it's so precise that people can actually like feel how many marbles are in the box.
Oh, so like the vibrations move from the left to the right.
Yeah,
it's balanced.
And like when you move it back and forth, you'll feel it. It feels like marbles are rolling in a box in your hand. You're like, this is a controller. It totally feels like marbles in a box.
Oh wow.
And that's how this Pokeball is. Like, it feels like a little Pokemon is like shaking in there. And then when you catch one, it clicks and it turns green. Like, it's got an RGB lighting system on there. So it'll flash all kinds of different colors. And like, depending on the Pokemon, like if you catch a Haunter, it turns purple. If you catch a Pikachu, it's yellow. And then it also makes the sound, like after you catch them, you hear the sound, not on the screen, in the Pokeball though. So like when you catch Pikachu, you'll hear Pikachu in the fucking Pokeball. And you're like, whoa, holy shit, he's right here. I caught him. He's mine. And
so it makes it more interactive. Like,
yeah.
having the ball kind of adds to the experience.
Yeah, it's like it seals the deal. And they made a deal with it where, so it's $50 if you want to just buy the Pokeball, and it's $60 for the game. But you can also buy a little bundle that's the game and the Pokeball for $100, so $10 off.
Yeah, reasonable.
And I mean, when you consider how much like controllers cost anyways, like there is a lot of tech going on in there, because it's got to be precise. Like, motion controls, everyone complains about them from before, because like back in the Wii days, motion controls weren't the best.
Back when it was actually not motion controls.
Back when it was wiggle controls.
Back when it wasn't anything.
But these controls are good. Like, when you throw that Pokeball, if it doesn't go where you want it to go, you're like, I fucked up. That was my bad. Like, it goes. Like, if you do it right, like, and you can gauge like how far. Like, if it's a little tiny guy right here, you have to kind of like just basically drop it, and it'll like fly out and then get them. But if it's an Onix, his fucking spot is, he's a big, tall motherfucker. You actually have to, like, chuck it.
Lob it up.
Yeah, you have to, like, lob it and chuck it, and that thing will fly up and then get him. If you throw it like you did a normal thing, it'll just bounce off the floor. And, like, sometimes you throw it too hard on the little guys, and it just flies right over them all the way to the back of your screen. You're like, oops. And also directional. You left, right, up, down, all that. It's really cool.
Sounds cool. Is this like, that's the kind of feedback I expect from the Switch, how they developed. So, like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's also like that with the Wiimote when you're just, I mean, not Wiimote, the
Joy-Con.
Joy-Con. When you're just doing one Joy-Con, it's pretty much the same except no curves.
Yeah, there's no curves, and you also can't throw it. That's the.
Well, you can.
You could.
Not a good idea, though.
You can. You
I can chuck it right at your TV.
That's why they tell you to wear the wrist strap.
Yeah, that's true.
Your wrist goes that way.
My wrist flies off.
Speaking about throwing and wrist straps, do you remember back when the Wii first came out, the wrist straps weren't strong enough?
And
would-
so
And
many TVs
People were
destroyed.
throwing Wii remotes through TVs. That was back when TVs were made of glass too.
Ugh. So I never threw it through a TV, but I like, had it where it slipped off my arm, went almost to a wall.
Oh jeez.
I'm like,
Oh, I totally. I got hit in the face by my little brother when we were playing Wii back in the day. He was like, I can't remember if it was baseball or tennis or something like that, but he swung and just hit me right in the fucking mouth, like really hard too. Like it was like it
It's
was
where you get that taste of metal in your mouth.
Yeah, it was like that like bloody metal taste, and and that like numb fucking battery
Your
feeling.
teeth are ringing.
Yeah, I'm just like that hurt. Like I was like, that's on the verge of a tooth almost fell out because it was Knuckles and fucking Wiimote just right in the fucking mouth. That was a good day. But yeah, it's the original Pokemon though. Like it's like if you played Pokemon when you were 8 years old, it's the same one, you know, that you played back then. And or 6. I was 6 years old when Pokemon came out. That shit. That's crazy to think about. But yeah, it's, you know, and seeing that for America, it's basically the 20th anniversary in a way. So it's, you know, going back to the original is pretty neat. I honestly, so like I was saying, I like the casual sense to it because I'm someone who really likes it, but I don't like the grinding. I do like tricking out my party, and I like the whole, like, you know, tweaking with your things. So I could see where, you know, it's not as in-depth as the other ones were. And that's the thing is, it kind of lost me on that before. Like, I was like, I like that, but I don't want to put the time into Pokemon for that. Like, I kind of just want to casually play Pokemon. I don't want to be MLG legit in Pokemon, you know? But I think going forward, I would actually prefer going through the Let's Go series and maybe passing up the main series, because I actually didn't play Sun and Moon. I went to play X and Y, and I played like halfway through Y, and I just stopped playing Y. Like, I tried it, and I was kind of like iffy on the way, and then I dropped it. I didn't complete it, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not into this. It's just too much. It's like when you're an adult, you got shit to do.
Yeah.
I can't be spending, you know, like I play a lot of games as it is, and Pokemon's just one of those games that's like not pulling me to drop the hours into. It's one of those games I just want to, like, you know, chill.
Casually
Yeah,
jump in, fight a Pokemon or two.
Yeah, I want to kick back, have fun. Like if someone's like, "Hey, let's have a Pokemon battle," I'm like, "Yeah, all right, fuck yeah." I don't want to fucking like
Spend a whole day.
yeah.
I was trying to picture someone like investing hours going, I got them all 12 hours later.
See, the thing with, you know, the Let's Go games, they did do version exclusives though. It's
Yeah.
basically like Pikachu was red and Eevee was blue version,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh man, I can't catch Oddish. Oddish is like the better Pokemon because they were like, oh, guess what you get instead of Oddish? You get Venonat.
Venonat. Yeah.
I get Venonat and Venomoth, you know, who were terrible in Gen 1.
You know, funny
every bug Pokemon was terrible up until Gen 4.
Yeah, pretty much. Bug Pokemon were stupid. They like specifically made the bug trainers like the worst character in the game. Like when you're fighting a bug trainer, like, I'm gonna crush this dude. All right, prepare your anus, kid. You're about to get fucked. Don't that came out horrible. That was wrong in like 9 different ways.
Guess what, Connor? That's going on the internet.
So many images.
It's not going on the internet. It's already there because we're live.
But yeah, bug Pokemon sucked up until Generation 4. So getting that version exclusive was perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the Pokemon talk. What there's also Warframe, which I haven't played yet on Switch.
Warframe on Switch. All right, so it's got a lot of the familiarities of if you played on PC, PS4, or Xbox. The control scheme is very much the same as on the Xbox. It doesn't have swipe controls. It doesn't have swipe controls like the PlayStation 4 version does on the touchpad, which was kind of a letdown for me because I really liked the swipe controls on the touchpad. Having those would have been a nice addition.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand that it probably was just too much to put in there because they managed to fit a lot into Warframe. And it looks fantastic. It's got the Plains of Eidolon update and hopefully Fortuna comes out soon. And I like it. The only thing I don't like is the right thumbstick. Like, I can't find a sensitivity that I really am, like, comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. You know, the Switch has had a weird take on thumbstick sensitivity.
It is, yeah.
It's not consistent across games, which is weird. Like, it works really well in Fortnite. It's like the thumbstick works how you'd expect a thumbstick to work. But then, like Doom, it doesn't work exactly like it should. Like, it works, but differently. It just feels... And I think it might not actually be that Doom's weird on it. It might just be the way that the Switch is. So, when you hold an Xbox or a PlayStation controller, your hands are not up and down. Your hands are 45-degree angles, essentially. You know, they're often angles. Yeah. So you don't put your thumb up to go forward. You put your thumb, like, at an angle to go forward. So when you're, like, spending years of your life playing fucking 3D video games and this was going forward forever, and then that's suddenly changed to this, it kind of fucks with your brain.
Yeah, I think that might be what's messing with me.
Yeah, like I haven't played a whole lot of Doom since I played a shit ton of Fortnite, but I know when I first played Doom, which was like my first-person shooter I played on the Switch, I was kind of like, hold the fuck up, like, I'm fucking up here. This is weird, and my hand was hurting. I was like, I'm having a hard time doing this, like, more than I think I should. But then if I played detached, like, not on the Switch, it was fine. Like, I could hold them and, you know, do whatever, and it was all fine and dandy. But it's because I can orient my hands differently. But it's weird.
So would you like the first person, a guy who's never played Warframe ever, playing the Switch?
Yeah, let's hear that.
First off, why do you still stick with the same group after you ran a mission? It should end.
Well, see, this has been a thing since forever in Warframe.
Yeah, and it's frustrating.
It does get a little frustrating
because you have to go to the menu, either set single or leave the group, because like you'll end the mission. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna fuck around with upgrades. 5, 4. You can't even exit out. You can't opt out. You're thrown in the next fucking mission.
You're just like, oh, okay, here we go. And then you hear the people post game lobby like, oh yeah, can you get me some chicken nuggets? Yeah.
Oh, we'll go to trade chat in a second.
Yeah.
Oh, trade chat.
Oh.
So.
But
yeah.
And it's the thing with the missions. Like, okay, fine. People plan the roles. Like, you know, the first one I got with equivalent to 2 other guys. One guy hung out at the start, and what he was doing, but he did his thing. He guarded the start. The other guy beelines for the mission objectives. I'm like, what about the loot? You got loot.
What about the loot, man?
Yeah.
You gotta grab the loot.
It's part of the point of playing. You get resources and loot.
Yeah, Warframe is definitely the grind.
Yeah.
That is, 99% of the game is grinding so you can get better weapons.
Which I'm doing. I don't know if it translates to them too, but I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just get my shit. One couple of missions. But then the interesting thing happened because I read about like, the Earth section is supposed to be the easiest, right?
Mm-hmm. You're like
another guy joins, and 2 of these fuckers, the guy at the start thing, this guy, they're dead halfway through the mission. I'm like, why aren't you rezzing? How'd you die? It's not that hard.
Yeah. So Earth is the easiest, but when you start off, you really don't have good mods. And when people start playing, they don't realize that you have to mod all the time with your Warframe. Like, they go in like, oh, I did really good in the last mission. I could just go straight to the next one.
And possibly they did not. They took, Mag and other ones. I took Excalibur, which is your tanky one. So I'm a little more used to kind of being smacked around. I'm like, okay, unless I'm surrounded by a mob of people, I'm good.
Yeah.
Excalibur's not that tanky.
Yeah, what's better than that? Yeah. But it's just like...
It's tankier than Mag.
Mag is really glass cannony, but Mag does so much damage. Mag is one of the top 3 damage dealers in Warframe.
Oh yeah, Mag is probably the best starter.
Mag is the best starter.
Yeah, like that's people will be like, oh
no, it is hands down. Mag is the best starting Warframe.
Yeah, because Mag is just a good Warframe. Yeah.
No,
I know
got my tank.
Giovanni's
I'm
like,
good.
I have no idea what's going on.
No, I'd have no idea, but I'm guessing if I were to start the game, I'd play as Mag.
Yeah, because you
So-
can choose between 3
Just
warframes at the start.
Don't hang out at the start thing. Actually, play the mission because I was kind of like, what are you doing? Can I kick you?
All right.
It's Mag a class.
And don't die.
It's
if you die, revive. You
so-
can.
So to run down the quick run, because you're really into it, so you'll probably get overboard on the description. The quick rundown on Warframe is you play as different Warframes. They're like characters, and you unlock them. It's kind of like it's a free game, so you can pay to unlock more, or you can just get the parts and everything and unlock them.
Right.
They're like robots, and but they're organic robots, and
Special organic robots with lots of lore.
yeah,
Space
there's
Ninja.
a whole lot to it. But what it runs down to is start of the game, pick one of 3. That's your fucking character until you unlock more. And there's no like cut and dry. You like get to level 5 and you unlock this Warframe. It's like, no, go do these missions, collect these parts, build that Warframe.
Yeah.
So in a way, aside from those starters, which even then, you get one of 3, you can collect the other 2, right? At some point.
You can collect every
You
single
can, okay.
Warframe.
I'm just
Just
making
swap
sure
them out,
because I know like sometimes the starter stuff is different. But what I was gonna say was, people will have different collections of Warframes. I mean, unless you have all of them, then fucking you and that guy have all of them, But like if you and I were to play casually, we would probably end up with completely different libraries of Warframes. So, and then
Yeah.
we could either of us could have gotten any of them, but we got those ones. And there's like, how many are there right now?
There are 36 different ones. Okay, but here's the thing. Half of them are Prime versions.
Yeah.
Prime comes with a little bit more armor, and it looks all goldeny and has a little nicer look to it.
Yeah, they're different strengths and everything too, isn't it?
It depends.
It's not
honestly.
just a reskin.
It's a reskin with a little bit more actual like armor stat. There's a stat that is for armor, and that makes it so you take less damage when it hits your just getting hit.
Yeah.
And some of them do have more energy or more power strength. But originally they wanted the Prime versions not to be like some super powerful version that would differentiate. Oh, I spent, your Prime Access, which was like $40, and you're like, oh, I paid $40 to be better than everyone else. They wanted to be. It's mostly cosmetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a huge step up. But
They look very blingy though.
yeah, they do look very
They
blingy.
admit that. I'm like,
I have a lot of Prime Warframes.
They've got like gold and like accoutrement
They're all
all
tricked
over
out
them.
and
Yeah.
shiny.
It's
Yeah.
it's like putting a gold chain on. Like that's what the Prime ones are.
Okay.
But as for picking your first Warframe, it's a really hard debate on if you want to go for Mag or Excalibur, because Excalibur is one of the hardest Warframes for a newbie to get.
I'm used
That's
to
what
it.
I started with.
Yeah.
Was Excalibur, and I was like, "Fuck, this is a hard game." And then it was like, "Oh, that's just Excalibur," is what Brenda said because she plays a lot,
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So I gotten used to it now.
Yeah, originally Excalibur was the hardest Warframe to get next to like 2 others, and then he slowly became less and less of a problem as they continued to scale the game, so you became stronger faster. And,
So what's more? So you've just started playing it now, and
I started playing last night. I played. I think it's like Excalibur's like 7 or 8 right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm still in the Earth missions going to go to Venus. I'm just playing around grinding for stuff. Because also the thing you gotta learn is grinding. You get the upgrades too. You can't just power through a level. You actually gotta go do objectives, find other things. So you get resources and
get that
upgrade.
endo.
Yeah.
get that endo. Oh my god. So nobody on the Switch really has good mods to sell, but they're asking for low prices because that's what the prices were on PC. And so they're like, oh yeah, I want to buy, just a regular Serration for like 15 plat. I'm like, those aren't in high demand here.
bro, not yet.
Nobody's got the endo for that. I do have 2 extra Serrations, and back in the day when it was really hard to get them, and you had to really grind for them, those would go for 200 plat. I am not selling it under 150.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask about that. The game, you can upload you can bring your save over.
Yes,
but
indeed.
it's not crossplay.
It is not crossplay.
Does it like transfer over? Or?
So what happens is your PC account, you will transfer all of your progress over, but content that has not been unlocked on the Switch, such as the Fortuna update, will not be unlocked until that update drops. When that update does drop and the game actually catches up to the PC version, you automatically unlock stuff that you couldn't unlock inside the Switch version.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a full account transfer, just things that aren't out yet, you have to wait till they get added.
What the fuck are we listening to? This is some baby making music right now.
Well, this is Bayonetta, Lady in Black remix.
That's some baby making music.
Oh yeah, that's some light the fire, some candles.
Which is perfect for the next thing with the trade chat with their. I'm watching people trade their Snapchats and Instagrams. I'm like, I don't know who you people are.
Who is doing that?
I don't know, in the trade chat in Warframe. They're like,
in Warframe.
like, hey, Emily got Snapchat. I'm like, you're surprised I'm like little 6-year-old dude. I don't want to know.
That reminds me, like, what was it? Sweet and Anita, the Twitch streamer with Tourette's.
Oh,
It's pretty fun. But she was talking about like how she doesn't do Instagram and everything, but she gets asked and she's like, it pretty much seems like the only time people ask for Instagrams, they're pretty much saying, hey, I would like to see you in underwear and sexy naked poses. She's like, and it's just really weird because it's always like the first thing that random guys ask me. They're like, hey, you got an Instagram? You got an Instagram?
do you get kind of sliding them DMs?
Yeah, right.
Give me the DM.
I don't use Instagram. I use Twitter. Twitter is
I don't use anything other than Facebook.
Twitter like actually has like news and links and stuff, and
I really need to get back on Player Me.
Oh, another thing Spencer was mentioning too, the how you can actually get through the filters on the chat.
Yeah, so the bots for monitoring the chats inside of Warframe are really, really simple.
yeah.
Like, as you can post anything you really want as long as you put want to buy or want to sell in front of your
Want to sell Goatsy.
Well, the sell
just-
dick pics.
WTS.
Do you know what Goatsy is?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We've had this discussion.
Yeah.
Just put WTS and you could upload a virus if you really wanted to, and it.
Ooh. That's a
That'd be-
problem in Fallout
that'd be-
76.
That'd be an interesting way to crash the Switch if you can actually link it something to crash it.
Yeah, I don't think the character limit would allow it unless you had really good knowledge of how to compress code.
Yeah.
I've seen people actually compress like, Tetris down to like, I think it was like 240 characters, which is crazy, but I don't remember what the actual character limit is on Warframe's chats.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on how you can work with those strings, you can do some weird stuff.
That's like in Minecraft, how you can just build a full-on computer that can connect to the internet.
I saw a video of that where it was like a calculator,
Yeah.
right? But it was huge.
Yeah.
They took up the entire map, and it was just things shooting around.
Yeah, they built like the capacitors and everything.
Yeah.
Want to be even more what the fuck? People made a phone in Minecraft.
A phone that
Yeah.
can dial and
Yeah.
what?
And they had it in the game, and it was on their server, and the phone had the programming to connect to the server, and they called and ordered a pizza through Minecraft.
Wow.
It fucking happened. That's what's like, what the fuck? I don't even know how that works, but it did. It's crazy. Like what you like. There was a time when we were playing games and like Pokemon back in the day, and they'd be like, it's a Nintendo Entertainment System in your room. And then now it's like you could be playing Minecraft and literally make a Nintendo Entertainment System in the game. Granted, it'll be, 50 cubics high by 1,000 wide. It'd take a lot of know-how with semiconductors and shit. But the fact that you can make a semiconductor in Minecraft is like, what?
Right. It's like, wow.
That's crazy.
So, what is going on in Fallout 76? Our weekly topic now.
Yeah, right. We keep. Well, see, the funny thing is, like, we talk about it, we haven't actually, like, none of us play it.
No, what was it? It's so entertaining to talk about and watch.
It is interesting to watch because people can, people would just fuck with it. Like we were talking about how last week we were talking about how if you detonate 3 nukes at a time, it crashes the server.
Oh.
Like not your game, the server.
Server.
So whoever's fucking on that server is not playing anymore. And yeah, people have been finding like exploits to like upload malicious code very easily. It's bad. You know it's extra sad. I don't know if we talked about this on the show. I think the news came out afterwards. There's a Black Friday deal going on. You can buy Fallout 76 for $30.
They're just trying to get out the door?
They announced that sale. The game wasn't even a week old yet.
Oh.
The game was like 5 days old. And they're like, it's half off.
And there are places they're not taking refunds.
Yeah, that's true.
I saw like there's a video on.
Well, that's
YouTube.
normal. Like
Yeah.
GameStop doesn't take refunds on new games.
The dude flipped out and trashed the store.
Yeah, this guy, he was in the store, and it was funny because you see him and he's all pissed off. He doesn't look like he's gonna do anything wrong. He just looks like he's mad and he's like frustrated. Then all of a sudden he turns around, grabs a fucking shelf, throws it on the ground, like gift cards and shit spill everywhere, and he kicks another rack down. There's like plushies and toys all over, and then he grabs another rack and throws that shit down and then just walks out the store.
Starts vandalizing because he can't get a 60 back.
But as one guy walks in, looking around like the fuck, the customer service guy's like just on the phone like.
Yeah, the guy working was like, "This is GameStop, Gary speaking. How may I help
it's
you?"
happened a million times before.
Yeah, he was just like, "This is another day in the life of GameStop."
Don't you know people do this every day at every GameStop? They just get mad because they realize that their game that they just bought dropped down $40.
Yeah, right. Why do you think this fucking guy had his cell phone out and was recording? He knew shit was gonna go down.
He's like, "Oh, it's that time of day again."
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Here we go again.
There's Jimmy. He looks so pissed.
This is a thing that guy does. He just goes into stores and fucks it up. He hasn't been in trouble yet. He's a grown man and he just hasn't gotten in trouble for it yet. You know what would be really funny? If he goes into that same GameStop like a week later and they're just like, "Hey, Jimmy."
What's up?
Like, it's water under the bridge. That shit happens. It's GameStop. We get it. Everyone hates it. We don't get paid enough to hate you.
I'm thinking like, so they cut the price in half. What, 5 days after it was released? So
Yeah,
does
it's
that
only
mean-
for the Thanksgiving sale.
I see.
but-
are they just trying to get it out there?
I think so. Yeah.
Trying to get people to get it.
Yeah, because it's not selling as well as Bethesda wants it to.
Well, you release a broken game. We're paying to be beta testers.
Yeah, exactly. It's
And other games are coming out.
They're better.
yeah, like Pokemon came out the same fucking week.
You got Red Dead.
Yeah, Red Dead. Well, that came out a week before.
Sorry, sir.
But still relevant.
That's the same time frame. As long as
It's the
within-
same time frame, yeah. But I'm just saying that, like, as far as like week releases are.
Yeah.
Red Dead's fucking king shit of fuck mountain right now. So.
I mean, this reminds me of the good old topic of when Battleborn came out, and
It was against Overwatch.
It was against Overwatch, but Battleborn came out 3 weeks earlier. Yeah, no,
Overwatch goes
Blizzard.
out.
Yeah, but fucking it's Overwatch.
Blizzard.
They knew what they were fucking doing. Like,
Yeah.
like Blizzard didn't even have to like guess. They're like, yeah, this game's big. This game's gonna be big. And here we are, like 2.5 years later, and it's like, yeah, the game was and it's still kind of big. Still kind of.
Kinda.
It's not as big as it was. It's no Fortnite. It's no League of Legends. It did beat League of Legends for like concurrent watchers on Twitch for a good couple months.
Yeah.
but
It that coming back. Fortnite was the anomaly. Fortnite was like, okay, this fucking just took it over. All right.
Fortnite's the thing right now, right?
Fortnite just
Fortnite
like,
was
oh,
the thing. It still is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Fortnite saw what PUBG was doing. I was like,
Yeah. Right.
What's
But
with
it's
that?
a lot better than PUBG stuff.
Or is it PUBG?
PUBG.
yeah.
PUBG is
And
how everyone actually refers to it.
you don't-
PUBG is what we were calling it.
And you
before.
don't have to pay for it either. So
Yeah, you don't have to pay for Fortnite. Fortnite's a free game, and it's like it's a full game. Like, popular game. Anything that's popular is gonna get shit talked. Like that's just how things are.
Yeah.
It's a fucking game. Like it's like any other game.
Yeah.
it's like I don't know.
But it's a working good game.
it
So,
works.
Yeah, like the thing was when Fortnite first came out as a battle royale game, I wasn't into it. It was really bare bones and it wasn't like that great. And so I was kind of like, meh. And I also had PUBG at the time. And PUBG was still early access. And I was like, okay, PUBG's cooler. And PUBG, had a lot of glitches, though. And it was just unpolished. But it was like, okay, it's early access. And then they were like, it's officially released. And I was like, these glitches are still there. You guys didn't fix the shit. And you charged $30. Come on, man. And then Tencent Games. It's funny. We were talking about this a couple weeks ago. Tencent Games is a Chinese company that make mobile games.
Oh, the Diablo 3 thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're making Diablo 3. You know what's insane about Tencent Games? So they make ripoffs, and then they buy the real thing. They make so much money that they made Arena of Valor, which is a ripoff of League of Legends. But then a year and a half, 2 years ago, they bought Riot Games.
Wow. So now they own the official.
They own League of Legends. And it's really funny because people still don't know that. And you go on if you see the Facebook post for Arena of Valor or whatever, they're like, oh, someone should contact Riot. Clearly they're ripping off. That's straight up Summoner's Rift. And it's like, guys, they own Riot. They don't give a fuck. All right?
It's like Riot Games hey Dad.
Yeah, right. That's like telling on the dad to the kid, hey, your dad's watching porn in the living room. Why are you telling me this?
It's your porn.
What? Wait. Hold up. Is it porn that the kid owns?
Yeah,
or did the kid make... Are you saying this kid made porn?
That's going to a whole different world. I don't know if you want to go into just yet.
Yeah, let's just drop that topic.
No, it was possessive. As if
kids, in parentheses, it's still
Okay.
possessive.
Do you want to have a conversation with B about the subject?
Yeah, no, we're just going to...
B, they cut it.
Rewind it back. We're on a different track.
We're
now.
chaotic here, but we have to keep it.
There's standards.
Yeah.
You do not
Believe it
talk
or
about
not.
cheese pizza.
cheese pizza.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, they also own PUBG. Yeah, which was like what? And then they made a mobile PUBG, and then the mobile PUBG's free,
Yeah.
and the mobile PUBG is the same PUBG.
Same thing.
It's the same fucking game, like the full game.
It's
The game
just
that
as
runs
good.
like ass on computers and on Xbox
Runs good in the phone.
runs totally fine on phone.
Works perfectly on your phone.
This phone isn't even a good phone. This is like a 2-year-old mid-grade phone, and it runs PUBG just fine.
Oh.
You put PUBG on the Xbox, I mean, granted, the textures and stuff are more on the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
That just goes to say they should have made it less on the Xbox.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's fucking actually playing on phone is what? And then, but Fortnite, see, they took that idea and they were like, we're not gonna settle. We're gonna just keep throwing shit on and making more shit on the map and putting more shit on it and then throw more guns at it. And then here's some random events and some lore and some more events and more skins, more characters. And it got to the point where it's like, holy shit, there's more to do in this game than PUBG by far.
And plus, it keeps evolving too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
story-wise,
the map changes every 2 weeks.
Versus the same maps over and over.
Yeah, more and more stuff keeps coming. And there's no fucking glitches. That's the biggest deal to me. When you play PUBG, you don't know if you're going to get stuck behind an invisible wall when you're shooting stuff. There's been times where I was playing PUBG and I'm crouched down and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm all tactical Solid Snake style. I'm going to hang up here and I got my sniper rifle and I'm going to shoot him right in the head. And then you shoot and you hit an invisible wall that's the root of a tree. Mm-hmm. And you can see over the tree, but your gun didn't, apparently. Or you're in a house and you're looking down a stairway and someone's coming up and you're like, oh, I gotta fucking shoot him. And you get a little too close to the stairway, so it pulls your gun up. And you're like, I'm looking through the fucking things. Why did it do that? Or it'll just be no, you just don't shoot. And I'm like,
So it's hindering gameplay.
yeah, there's so much stuff. And then there's times where your movement's fucked up, and then that doesn't happen in Fortnite. And then Fortnite also has the building mode, so it's that might get on some people's nerves because they want that raw experience. But I think it's like pretty cool. And you're just like, okay, throw up a wall, throw up a fucking sniper tower real quick. You know.
I mean, also like the building was so popular that Gmod took it into its Trouble Terrorist Town mod.
Yeah.
So you can do that now as a detective and trader. You can get the building. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, and then the map is destructible in Fortnite. Anything that's not terrain. So like a lot of rocks are destructible, but if it's like a mountain, okay, the mountain's part of the map. You're not going to you're not going to mine the floor. I mean, maybe one day. Fucking who knows? Like maybe like next season, that'll be the next update. They're like, oh, yep, you throw a grenade, it'll make a crater in the ground, you know, stuff like. If they have that, that'll be a huge update. If
that
they do
would be interesting.
That'd
for the
be
last,
amazing.
That would be a lot of techno reworks on the entire engine. Actually,
yeah. But the other thing about Fortnite is not only is it on everything, like it's on your phone, it's on Xbox, it's on Switch, it's on PC, PS4, Mac, everything. Yeah. It's crossplay. So like this actually last night, Miguel, Andrew, and I were playing. It was really funny because we were playing board games over at Miguel's house, and then we were like, he's like, "Oh, you have Mario Party?" Yeah, and I was like, "Oh yeah," but I didn't bring my Switch. And then we were like, "Okay, wait," and then Miguel only has 2 controllers on his Switch, and then Andrew just goes, "Oh wait, we could play Fortnite," and then we're like, "Oh yeah," and I logged in to my account on Miguel's Switch. Andrew logged into his account on Miguel's PS4, and Miguel was on his account on his PC. And we're all chilling in the same room, and we were all playing, and it fucking, you know, it's flawless. And, like there are no hiccups. It was just that's the fucking the tits right there. And you know, like we always touch back on nostalgia because we're all old gamers here. Like we've been nerds forever. Could you imagine like back in the day, like okay, because I know we all had different systems as kids. Like when we were kids, we can't fucking afford to like our parents didn't want to buy all the systems. So it's like I had Nintendo. My buddy had Genesis. You know, I had PS1, and my brother had N64 at his dad's house. And it's like, you know, could you imagine if you just fucking play them like wherever you were at any time, like with whoever? And like, not to mention just online in general.
I mean, yeah, because best you can do is like 2 cross-link cables through like old like PlayStation, or you're doing old school LAN party, which being the CRT monitors and all that stuff.
Oh god, dude, LAN parties back in the day. Like I never did full-on LAN parties because I was too young to have my own PC. Like I wasn't old enough to have that stage of gamerness. I did go to cyber cafes. That's how I did my LAN parties. But we did do Xbox link parties. You know, everyone brings their Xbox. We link like 4 or 5, even we had 8 Xboxes at one point linked together.
Just play Halo.
And just played fucking Halo 2, dude. Like that was the shit. You know, but imagine like, you know, if it wasn't like you had to find your friends with Xboxes. It was just like, yeah, you have a Nintendo and he has a PlayStation. We'll all just play together. Mm-hmm. Like that, like putting that your mindset back as like when you were a kid. It's like that's mind blowing. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that happened, you know, within like 10 years. Like if you talk about like the time span between we're playing online games, started like 2004 is when we started playing.
A little bit earlier, but yeah, 2004 is
like when console online.
Console,
gaming.
yeah,
when online console gaming, because
technically the GameCube had it, but it wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah,
the PlayStation 2 also had it for one game.
The Dreamcast had it for Phantasy Star Online. Servers are still up because of fans. That's insane. My brother he brought that up to me over Thanksgiving. He was like, "Can you believe people still fucking play Phantasy Star? Like, there's a group of people. They run the servers and everything." And I was like, "That's insane."
Do they play it on the
Dreamcast?
On the Dreamcast?
Yeah. People are still booting up their Dreamcast, putting a fucking Cat 9 cable in there, and just fucking playing.
Wow. Have they thought about making it on a new system or something?
No, I mean it was ported to GameCube.
They have a PC version of Phantasy Star.
Yeah, but people are still playing it on Dreamcast.
But the PC version is, you know, you have to connect to Japanese servers and
oh yeah,
and you can install a language pack, but everyone in there is just speaking Japanese.
The fact that it's actually easier to plug in a fucking Sega Dreamcast and play that game is what's weird. That's just so weird to think about though, that you could still like justifiably play a fucking Dreamcast in 2018.
No, there's also technology where they have like someone did like a SD card add-on to the Dreamcast where it plugs in front and on top of you remove the CD-ROM
Oh yeah.
You plug in the same port. You put your games on SD card. It loads the same.
Oh yeah. People.
I mean,
plug in
it's just still the whole thing is that technology is like you move forward, but yet we kind of go backwards if we actually try.
Yeah, it's just like man, the Dreamcast. The biggest downfall was piracy to that thing.
Yeah, it's so easy.
It's so easy. There's no copy protection on a Dreamcast game. That's what killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can literally take a Dreamcast game, put it in a computer, put the files on the desktop, put a DVD, not even DVD, a CD.
CD-ROM.
Put a CD into your computer, burn the game files to that, make a boot disk. Yeah, put the boot disk in the Dreamcast.
Some don't even need the boot
Some
disk.
don't even need the boot disk. Yeah, some don't. The later games needed a boot disk. The fact that the DRM the anti-piracy thing, all you had to do was download this other thing on a disk. So you put the boot disk in there, it boots up and it's like, all right, remove this and put the real game in there. You're like,
But technically that was for PlayStation too.
The PlayStation 1 also had that where it was based
Yeah.
off of the wobble.
yeah, it's based off the wiggle. Do you know about that?
The wiggle, what?
So the way CD readers work, they're meant to read past scratches, vibrations, and stuff like that. But what PlayStation specifically coded at the beginning of every PlayStation disc is a little wiggle. And when you go to pirate that game, or when you go to make a backup file of it, you could put it in your PC, and same thing. You'll see the code on there. Drop it onto your desktop. The drive, when you put it on the PC, doesn't see the wiggle. It just sees it as an issue, like with the disc. It sees it as a scratch. So it just smoothed out that wobble. So it doesn't have that wobble anymore when it writes the new disc. So when you put that in the PlayStation 1 with your copied disc, there's no wobble, and the PlayStation is just like,
Oh, it gives you that red, scary
yeah, it
screen.
gives you that scary red screen.
Yeah.
That evil, like, oh no.
I got messed up.
Tried it.
Yeah, dude.
You done messed up. You tried to steal.
Yeah, right. Dude, that was such a weird moment. Like if your game failed to read or anything, you're just like,
Oh fuck!
oh no.
Turn on the lights.
Oh, you weren't here when I actually got a PlayStation 1 recently, the original with the RCA ports at the back. It hooks up to my sound system. Remember when you when we first met and we were talking about PlayStation, and then you had the fucking revamped full audio uncompressed PlayStation startup sound. You're like, the power and the fucking cool sound. So if you go to my house and we just boot up the PlayStation, I have it on the surround system. Oh,
Do you feel it? Is it
you
just?
feel the power.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you could stop by after the show if
I'm
you
down,
want.
I'm
Yeah,
down.
we'll throw on some Tony Hawk or something. But yeah, it's crazy because even with the PlayStation Wiggle though, you still have to do tricks. Like you have to put an actual PlayStation disc in there, and you have to hold down the fucking eject thing with a piece of plastic or a knife or something,
And then
you have to fucking time it.
perfectly.
You have to be like, okay, Reddit. And then you fucking stick the new disc in there, and you're like, all right, it worked. You got it. We're playing the game. You have to do that fucking 5 times, until you got good at it. If you were new to the fucking disc swap, I remember because my brother did it. My brother was always into that piracy game, and
Although
fucking
with the Game Shark, a little more refined.
on PlayStation.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, I have. One.
Oh yeah, you put it in the memory card
Yeah.
slot, right?
No, it was the CD.
Oh, it's just a CD.
And then you load it up,
Okay.
then until you eject CD. Got more advanced with the PlayStation 2, where I still have my house. I had a new case where I could take the top off.
Yeah,
And just whip out a new CD, put it in there.
I
But
remember.
you still had to run it because it'll boot up and do that if you didn't have the Tony Hawk method.
Yeah, it's
Not 100% though, because some games it just didn't work anyway.
yeah, but Dreamcast just didn't have anything.
They're like, nah, go ahead.
Dreamcast just got fucked in the mouth. It was.
Well, because yeah,
Then it fucking killed Sega, man.
But
I mean, that's not the only thing that killed Sega. The other thing was them just coming out with the Sega CD with no fucking warning. You know about that?
Was it the connection to the?
It
the
was
Saturn?
Well, it was that, but
basically it was like they were like, okay, 32 bits catching on with the PlayStation.
yeah, well, that's a 32X.
I'm not saying, but yeah, the Sega CD were in there, and then also, I was thinking about the 32X with the whole Saturn 32X.
Yeah,
they
the
compete
Sega
against each
Saturn.
other.
Yeah, well, they were competing against each other, but it was either the Sega CD or Sega Saturn. Which one was its own system? A Saturn?
Saturn
The
was its own
CD was
system.
an attachment for the
Yeah.
Genesis.
Yeah,
though.
Genesis, yeah.
So the Sega Saturn. Anyway, they had all that debacle with the 32X and the Sega CD, like fighting each other, as he says. The problem with the Sega Saturn was they announced it like a week before it hit the shelves. And I don't mean like they told all the like, you know, the stores and the stores were ready. I mean, they actually told everyone about it. So stores were like, yeah, we don't have shelf space for that, dude. Like, we're not ready for that. Like, we need to give us like 3 months because we got product on these doors. Like, and where the fuck do you want us to keep it? And
this was in the day and age where, you know, people were like, oh, one video game is a huge investment.
Yeah, this is also the day and age where it wasn't the internet yet, so like fucking no one knew about it. Like it was out for like 4 months before people like knew about it.
Yeah, because generally you give it time for the game magazines.
Yeah, this is back in fossil media. You don't get news out for a month,
and
like,
also their advertising didn't help them.
Yeah,
that shit was just weird.
Oh yeah, advertisement in the '90s was weird.
Because I remember it was just like that one bald lady with something around her head. I'm like, how's this related?
Oh, the Saturn?
Yeah,
it was weird. I remember that. I remember seeing
like,
that exact ad.
It's like all surrealistic.
Yeah, it's like,
it's
weird.
It just makes you go, ooh.
Like, is this an art film?
Yeah, like it is in the grunge days, man. When like, you know, when you saw Black Hole Sun, the music video, you're just like, oh right, man, this is cool, but I don't know why.
But to be fair, Sony kind of got their own weirdness. Was it the PS3 and the baby commercial?
PS3 had some really weird commercials.
Dude, PlayStation has always had retarded commercials. I'm sorry to use that word. I know we're not, you know, that's not a good word to use. But the fucking PSP commercials with it's a nut you could take outside, and it's like PSP, it's a nut you could take outside, and it was like, what? Dude, no one fucking like what?
Did you see the one for the PlayStation Vita where it was like, oh, it's better when you could touch on both sides, and had a chick with
tits in the front and tits in the back, and it was like, yeah, it was about the PS Vita because there's a touchpad. That fucking
yeah, that's haunting still to this day.
You're like, what?
But yeah, the PS Vita chick with boobs on both sides, because both the front screen and the back screen were touch screens.
Trying to find the boobies ad here.
It's right there.
There it is.
It's right there.
Oh yeah, it's also right there. Yeah, that was. It's in French. Je dois faire deux fois plus d'ascenseur. And it's just like, yeah, it's better to touch from both sides. And it's like, instead of saying like let's just get rid of all class and just say boobs on the back, because there's nothing else about a woman that you want to touch but boobs. That's what that ad is saying right there. Dude, video game ads have always been
but Nintendo's bad ones too.
But that's just weird ads. Saturn came out with no ads because they were like, this is coming out today, you know, and then Walmart's like, what? And then like all the big stores are like, wait, what? Like, we don't. And then people, so like the gamers that like actually saw that shit, like either on TV or on fucking dial-up internet, or like were in the know, they're coming to stores and they're like, hey, you got the Sega Saturn? And like people at stores were like, the what? You know, like you got the Sega CD. And it was like, we don't know the Saturn shit.
CD. I'm playing Land Shark.
Yeah,
Shark.
And then, you know, and then magazines are like telling this a month later, because magazines take a month to print.
Behind.
Yeah. No one fucking reads, like, people read newspapers back then. Kids don't fucking read newspapers. And then fucking, like, newspapers don't talk about things. They're just sort of like, yeah, and Sega, it had a new system launched, and then here's the sports, and then they talk about like 5 pages of Sammy Sosa.
Yeah, just like 2 paragraphs probably for like video games.
Yeah, that's the problem with like newspapers. They didn't talk about like cool shit, because you know it's not newspapers' fault. It's just an inherent thing about newspapers, because you're writing shit every day. You know.
Yep.
You can't relish on something that isn't like big news. And video games just aren't big news, so like newspapers are like, we're not dealing with that.
Goes by the wayside.
Yeah, exactly. So they like, so the extent that people knew about the Sega Saturn, if they even read it, like for the whole first month, was like a paragraph inside papers for one day out of 30. You know,
Yeah.
And then next month we finally start getting, new like magazine ads, and then stores didn't start stocking it until like 2 to 3 months after the fucking announcement.
And didn't it like in the Ultra 64 was announced around that time too?
I'm not sure.
I thought that was kind of like people like wants to wait for Nintendo 64, but instead of this 32.
Yeah, right. It was just and then there's a PlayStation it was just a bad day, and then they released the Dreamcast, and then it was like.
But also the Saturn was hard to code for too.
Yeah, the Saturn was hard. Like Saturn was just all bad. This whole advertisement thing though, that brings us to right now. Thanksgiving weekend, fucking Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all that shit.
Yeah.
Which I don't know you guys. I didn't do shit for any of that. And I don't think, and apparently no one else did either. Like you look at the trending, a lot of people were just like, nah, I got shit. That or everyone's like, dude, I got the internet.
I got bills to pay.
Yeah, people are poor right now.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up. Like,
when
like,
$15 an hour barely gets you by, and the only place given that as a starting wage is Amazon.
and then you look at it, and then it's like, and then you're like, I want that new iPad. That'll be $1,000. You're like, I kind of need food.
Yeah.
and gas and heating.
And a roof over my head.
Yeah. You're like,
Like that's rent.
the iPad will wait.
That's all my bills for 1 month.
Yeah, that's like, ooh, can't do the iPad right now. And it's like, oh, my phone's getting old. I need a new phone. The Google Pixel is $800, and that's about the cheapest flagship phone right now.
I'm like, I'm still paying off my Pixel 2. I'm good.
Okay, we're not getting a new phone right now either.
I'm gonna stay with the Galaxy.
Maybe I
S8.
could save up money and buy a house. Houses are $400,000 now. It's like, I feel like we were actually just talking about this at my job. That we think there's going to be another housing crash because
it's estimated. Yeah, the housing bubble is expected to happen in 2020.
Because no one learned anything. Because we were all younger. I was in high school. When it happened, I just started high school. It was 2008. Graduated in 2011. 2008 was when shit hit the fan. Obama took office, and he was like, "Oh, what am I going to do with this fucked up economy?" It just kind of blew up in his lap. It was like, "Hey, here we go, Obama. Deal with that. See you later." And
By the way,
I didn't do 9/11. Just that's a rumor that'll start up real soon. And he's like, "Why did you say that?" And then fucking shit happened. Now the reason that all happened is because there was bankers. They were giving loans to people that couldn't afford it, and then people were investing in houses. So houses are worth all this shit. So people are like, "I need a house though." Okay, but then they're like, "Oh, you can get this. We can get the loan for you." And then people right now are like, "Oh, minimum wage sucks ass," and every job is paying minimum wage now, for whatever fucking reason.
yeah.
And then
when 85% of the job market in America is not paying enough for people to live.
Yeah, and then so what's happening is people are still loaning people money for houses that are increasing in value. And the same shit's happening.
And realtors are still going to houses more like, "Hey, you want to sell your house? Want to buy a house?"
Yeah,
I can afford rent. That's good. I can afford a fucking house.
People can't even afford rent. That's the problem. You have to have roommates these days or live with your family.
True.
That's another thing. People just aren't moving out
Unless you want to move more in an area that's lesser price, more crime.
So
yeah, that's the sad part. It's
you want to go to Detroit?
San Bernardino's looking good.
No, San Bernardino's not good. It's still expensive.
I know.
It's still expensive.
Yeah, but it's cheaper than LA.
Or cheaper than here.
It's cheaper than
It's cheaper than right here.
Or Rancho, double there.
Yeah, but the cheapest rent in San Bernardino right now is $825, which people are gonna say that's cheap. I got other bills to pay too.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I shouldn't say funny. It's fucking terrible. That's what I really meant to say.
It's fucking
is this whole Black Friday thing? I'm laughing at your reaction. It's so great, Joe. This whole Black Friday thing. It's not. They need to not call it that anymore. They need to just call it Thanksgiving Fuck You Day Sale.
Yeah.
Because So last year, I've gone to Black Friday sales a couple times in my life. And then last year, what I did was I went at like 2 p.m. on Friday. It was like, there's no crowd and all that stuff. You can go in there and I was like, oh, look at that. I get some Tupperware, 36-piece set, $10. That's pretty rad. Put that in my basket. I didn't go for the doorbusters. I didn't have a lot of money now. And I don't have a lot of money then. So, but it was like, I have enough to buy some things that I would need around. I was like, Tupperware. And I still use that Tupperware to this day, every day.
That was really good.
That was a good deal. Yeah, I bought like pots and pans and all this other stuff, and it was like, oh, cool, fucking pots and pans, $14, cool. And this was Friday last year. I did that this year. I went in at about 4 p.m. and there's nothing there. And I overheard the workers saying, yeah, we got to get rid of all this stuff on the Black Friday stuff. We got to get rid of it. It's got to get off the floor. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, hold the fuck up real quick. So everyone's complaining about how they started Black Friday early. I don't know if you noticed this or read about it. Fucking everywhere was opening on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving night or whatever.
Yeah, like GameStop opened at 3 p.m.
As soon as you finish eating your
not even finished eating. Like you're like, oh, the turkey's not even thawed.
I'll get delivered.
The turkey just got put in the oven.
Because I don't know about you. The traditional sense, at least, is like 6 p.m. is dinner time. Like between 6 and like 8 p.m.
Around sunset, after the sun.
Like that's when you're like, all right, you can start dinner anytime between like 3 and 8, maybe even say 9 p.m. 3 and 9 p.m. You're like, you start and eat dinner at this time. 3 p.m. is like start arriving to my place and we're starting to put stuff out. You can grab a beer, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So now stores are opening up at 3 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day. They're telling people to not go to Thanksgiving. Fuck your family,
right.
fuck you.
Shop.
Come here and work for GameStop. And then we as a society are supporting that because people are going out and buying shit on Thanksgiving. So people are like, yeah, fuck my family. I'm going to go buy shit for my family.
I gotta get a TV before everyone else does.
Yeah, like I got to go buy this so that I could give presents to my family that I don't even want to spend time with right now. But then they're getting rid of all the stuff before Friday's even over.
Yeah.
And it's making me like, okay, hold the fuck up. If you're going to get rid of stuff midway through Friday, why not just say, let's actually use Friday?
Right.
If you're moving it a half day early, don't end it a half day early.
Keep it going.
If you're going to start early, keep the whole rest of the day.
Right.
Like keep what was there. It's like you didn't make it start early. You just took the whole thing and moved it.
Yeah. So Friday night they don't have to deal with it, but they should.
But it's like, no, just give back Thanksgiving, you dick faces. Like put the fucking day back to Friday.
Right.
Let everyone have Thursday off. Let everyone fucking eat their turkey or tofurkey, whatever you want. Like we don't even eat turkey anymore in my family. We had prime rib. It was really funny too because my car's been doing some stupid shit, and I was at Napa Auto Parts. I told the guy, I was like, I got prime. And he's like, oh fuck, and he's like, yeah. And everyone I told that, I was like, that's funny that because we've been doing that for a while in my family.
Prime rib.
Yeah, we do prime rib,
That's so bad.
and it's like, yo, why isn't that the tradition? Because it seems like everyone wants to do that, but no one thinks of it.
You're so sick of turkey.
Yeah, I mean ham. We always did ham too. It was funny. Like we've done, I want to say in my lifetime, we've done like 3 turkeys during Thanksgiving. Every other one has been ham, and like the past like 4 years have been prime rib because we go to my brother's house. My brother's just like doesn't want to deal with turkey. He's not super into it, and then he's not like ham is really like you have to focus when you make it. Like if you cook in a slow cooker, it's easy. But then if you cook it in a slow cooker, it doesn't get that like crispiness,
It falls apart.
Yeah, it gets really like
Disintegrates.
yeah. So it takes a lot of effort. Like you gotta like pull it out. You gotta like get the scoop, and put the fucking juice back on top so it doesn't get dry. But then you still have to put it in. It's this whole process. Whereas prime rib, you're just like put these seasonings on it, put it in a fucking bag. There's all this juice. Throw it in the oven. You pull it out. Oh, fucking it's juicy. You carve it, and you're like, oh, it's perfect. It's super easy, and it's fucking good. Everyone loves it. And yeah, let people go home. Let people have their prime rib turkey tofurkey ham.
So I know they want to stick around the holidays, but make more sense. Do it around tax time. People have money then.
Oh, just move the taxes, yeah.
Yes, I know you want to do on the holidays, but people have money and are more likely to spend on stupid shit when they get their tax refund.
Well, the whole point is like it's Christmas, so people are
shocked.
It I think is still a weird concept. Like when you think it's still a month till Christmas is here, you know. And when you really think about it, it's like is buying shit a month in advance really the way you got to do it for Christmas?
Yes,
sitting around.
You
somewhere.
should be done Christmas shopping 2 weeks ago.
Like
I'll start the week of.
You know, I get the reason why they don't want to have these sales the whole fucking month because it's the same reason the Steam sale mentality, which killed Steam sales. I think I don't know if we talked about it on the show. I know I've talked about it with friends before.
No, I don't think we have.
So, the thing about Steam sales, they fucking died when the refund system came out. Okay, and the reason that is because the refund system says that. You can play for 2 hours or own the game for 2 weeks, if whatever comes first, and you can return it. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And Steam sales, they used to have flash sales. So it'd be like, oh, for the next 3 hours, this game is 90% off.
Yeah, which are good deals.
And it's like, oh, damn. And the mentality behind 90% off games was, this is what the developer thought. They're like, okay, Giovanni's going to find a game he likes.
I'm going to find it.
You're going to buy it for 90% off. It's going to be like $3. And you're like, fuck yeah, $3. It's normally $30. That's the math right there.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, Spencer, Connor, fucking Rich, this game's good. You guys should buy it. And then we go back, and it's like, it's not 30% off anymore. I mean, it's not 90% off. It's 30% off now.
You got to get it right that moment.
So then we're sitting there, and we're like, okay, it's not... it's not 90% off. It's not $3 like you got it.
Right.
It's still on sale. It's still like $24.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I saved $6. And then 3 people buy it for $24.
Yeah.
That's the mentality. They just sold the game really close to full price because one person fucking bought it at that really cheap price and boom, they made money.
Well, word of mouth.
Word of mouth, got it. They told people were like, cool, I want this game too because my buddy bought it.
Yeah.
What the Steam sales and the fucking refund system is people were like, oh, I just bought this game and it went on sale now and it's 90% off now. And it's like, I can't, they're pissed, They're like, I just bought it and it's $20 more. And then, so what Steam said was like, okay, fine. Developers, what you've got to do now is you have to make the price you're making during the sale. That's the same price it's got to be for the whole sale. And developers are like, we can't afford to make it 90% off the entire 2 fucking weeks that the sale goes for. We can afford making it 90% off for 3 hours on some random day, during the sale.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, instead of 90% off, it'll just be 40% off the whole 2 weeks. And then it's like, and then no one fucking buys the games anymore because, people aren't like, when you see 40% off, you're like, oh, that's still fucking, that's still $20. You're like, I don't
see 50 to 60 unless like your whole game.
You're like, I could buy one game during the Steam sale. You're not buying like 6 and then telling your buddies. The mentality, see, that's the weird mentality between humans. We get that, we're like, oh, fuck. You're like, oh, 90%. You buy like 10 games.
It's impulsive.
You spent fucking $40 on like 10 games, and you might only play one of them.
Yeah.
But then you found one that you liked, you told all your friends, and then like 2 weeks later, they all bought it full price. That's the fucking way Steam sales work. That's how money was made with Steam sales. And fucking people killed it because they complained about a good thing. And that's exactly what's going on with this shit. Like, like Black Friday, they can't have the whole sale going the whole month because stores are like, we can't fucking sell things at that price for a month long.
Right.
We'll be fucking out of business.
Yeah.
The whole point of Black Friday is, tell them they can buy a TV for $100. Even though it's a shitty 3-year-old TV, it's still $100, And then it's like, they'll come in store and they'll buy like $500 worth of other shit.
Yeah.
That's the whole mentality.
Upsell.
They're like, oh, I'm fucking a slow cooker. I don't need another one, but Bethany needs a slow cooker. And then it's all like these iHomes are sitting here. It's like, oh, all the kids can take an iHome, and they fucking buy a whole shopping cart full of stuff. That's like the whole mentality behind it. But
Like-
but what's weird is like, you know, they're killing the whole holiday.
Yeah.
Because the idea is like you're supposed to go out and buy the stuff for your loved ones, your friends, your family. But we're not spending time with our friends and family.
We're at the shops instead.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing, and I'm hoping that this is I hope it's not just because everyone's poor. I'm hoping it's of a lot of people saying, "Nah, fuck that."
No, it's the poor thing.
It's the poor thing, but I hope, like, for me, it was, nah, fuck that. Like, I went out to go look at a couple things, and no one fucking was selling anything anymore at, like, 4 p.m., you know? That's still Friday. It's not closing time. Like, I can understand if I went there at, like, 8.
We only do
And it was-
doorbusters.
Yeah, it's like, that's stupid. Like,
Remember
and-
back when I used to work at Big Lots, the doorbusters were these fucking cheap little alarm clocks. People be lined around the building. I'm like, these things are gonna break in like 2 weeks. Come on.
yeah, right? It's at Big Lots, dude. Like, the only thing
You're not getting quality.
You know what's weird about Big Lots? So I like that store because you can buy like, you know, like condiments and stuff really cheap. Like you can buy like the premium ketchup that's like, you know, comes in a glass bottle and it's like that nice and like spicy ketchup. It's like $1 something. Whereas like if you go to like any other food mart, it's like $3 to $4.
$4.99.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, okay. So I go to Big Lots and it's like, okay, sure, it'll expire in a month, but fucking I'm gonna eat it by that time, you know. Or it's fucking ketchup. It doesn't go bad. Like it says it went bad 3 years ago and it still tastes the same.
good,
Yeah. Like you put it in the fridge. Like refrigeration is amazing. We don't live in the salt age anymore. I think honestly, I fucking think you could leave ketchup out and it still wouldn't go bad. But my point remains.
fine.
That's what I go to Big Lots for. I also buy like, you know, fucking curtains.
I like
So-
$3 DVDs.
Yeah, fucking exactly.
$3 DVDs.
$3 DVDs and Blu-rays. You know, okay, this is weird. You can go into Big Lots any fucking time of the year and find $3 DVDs and Blu-rays. I went there during Friday, and they had this big old stand like it was a big deal. They were $5. I was like, these fuckers are usually $3. They marked those up for Black Friday. Like
Deal.
I was like, $5? That's Walmart prices. This is Big Lots. Those need to be $3.
Yeah.
Like they should have been $1 on Black Friday. It was weird. Like it felt wrong. Like I'm like, why is it $5? Because
Get that copy of Iron Man 2 for
yeah, I'm so
$5.
glad you said $3 though, because I thought I was like, am I remembering this wrong? I was like, I'm pretty sure
$3.
it's usually $2.99.
Yeah, $2.99 or 3 solid. It's just
Yeah, or sometimes it just says 3.
little sticker, $3.
Yeah, no, they were all 5 on Black Friday. It was
Trying to
weird.
make the difference.
Well, they make the extra $2.
But you know what's funny is, like Rich said, they pull people in with those alarm clocks. People that don't normally go to Big Lots. So if you go to Big Lots on a normal basis, like me, you walk in there and you're like, these prices aren't good.
Like this is different.
This is.
off.
I was like, yeah, I was sitting. I was like, I think this is more expensive, and I think there's something wrong. This is not the Big Lots that I know.
It's like I'm going to 99-cent store.
And
I
then-
get what treated right.
Go to a 99-cent store. Everything's marked as
$1.99.
Everything's a
You're
dollar.
like, fuck. Hold the fucking phone. Oh yeah, because this is my run. I went to Big Lots, Target, Best Buy, Walmart. That was my run.
So you went low, too high,
Yeah,
back to low.
So I go to Target, and I was like, okay, what spicy deals are here at Target? And I'm walking, I'm like, is there anything on sale here? Like the store had like there's no signage, like you know how it's like boom, buy this, get this.
With the lights flaring and
Yeah, and it's
the
all like bam,
signs.
you know, if I can buy like this and you get one free. And I was like, I'm walking around like, I don't see anything. It's just Target. I'm just in Target right now.
You guys
I'm not-
remember blue light deals?
Yeah.
Blue light specials?
Oh, yeah.
No, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's so weird. Though. Like, maybe they had an ad. But like, maybe it's just because, like I said, it was, you know, it was on Black Friday
Yeah.
instead of on Thursday now where they do all the stuff. But I was like, there's nothing. There was nothing that said that it was the holidays. And I was like, okay, maybe I can go to like the toy section because like that's where sales are for kids during Christmas and stuff. And I'm a man child and I want some like fucking Legos, you know. And I'm going there. I'm like, that's only $5 off. That's not a fucking sale. I don't know if you've looked at Legos recently, because you're probably a real adult and don't go and buy Legos.
Are they still expensive?
Dude, they're like $80 for a set.
Oh.
Fuck. So
Yeah, Legos are
so
expensive.
$5 off 80 is like,
75?
it's like, hey, you don't even get the tax taken off. You get like half the tax.
Like you're still paying.
You're still paying full price plus like, you know, your tax is still not paid off. If they did 10% off, you're like, okay, I'm not paying tax. That's pretty cool. But no, they didn't even, it's $5, dude. And it was only one of like 12 sets. Like I looked specifically at the Minecraft once, and it was like, I kind of a little bit of me was like, oh, okay. And then I went to the gaming section, and I was like, oh, maybe the normal rack that's like on sale, because they like, I don't know if you've been to Target recently. When you look at the game section, they have like this really nice display where it's like you see the covers and they're all on this like pull string and everything, and you're like, oh cool, this game, and it's got like a shelf of them behind the glass and everything. Then they've got a shelf off to the side that there's no organization. They're like Xbox, PlayStation, they're all just mishmashed together, out of order, like
older titles.
you're like, oh, there's Halo 5. And there's also Halo 5 on the bottom shelf. You know, like they're not next to it. There's no congruency here. Like you gotta
They just get picked up off the ground and thrown.
yeah,
in there.
like you gotta look through the whole fucking
Right.
shelf. I was like, oh, maybe I can go to that shelf and it'll be like, hey, buy one get one. That's fucking Black Friday. No, so they're all the normal price. There's no fucking discount on any of that shit. And then the only sale was there was a PlayStation bundle that came out. It's $200. You get the PlayStation Slim plus Spider-Man. So I was like, that's a good deal. And I got up there, and it's like, PlayStation Spider-Man bundle sold out. And it's just sitting there. I'm like, okay, so, and then I was like, what else is on sale? I was like, there was nothing else on sale. I was like, what is this?
While you were eating prime rib, everybody was buying up all the TVs.
Yeah,
and
right.
Spider-Mans.
But I'm sitting there. I was like, I didn't want to buy a Spider-Man, but I wanted to like go in and buy like, I wanted to buy a game for like $10.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
that's what I want. Like, that's what I did last year, and it was rad. It was the coolest shit. Like I said, like I was buying the Tupperware. I wanted to go into one of these stores and just be like,
Everything's cheap.
Yeah, like that's something cool that I want that I kind of need.
Yeah.
You know, want or need. Like I really want it or I need it for work or
Right.
for something. And
That's a fair price.
yeah, and I go to Best Buy, and damn, did they upscale the fucking presentation on everything. That's one thing they did. Like, they didn't fucking put a lot of sales on it. I mean, they got TVs everywhere.
The whole
I bought a
floor full of
yeah,
TVs
dude, it was
just stacked
full
up.
of TVs. Like, oh my
They
god,
were
I bought
lined
a
up like dominoes.
I bought a TV last year. Oh, that was rad. You know, I got a 55-inch 4K, and it was a good deal. I got that shit for like, was it $320, and it was normally $450. And you know, so it's a TCL. It's good stuff. But yeah, you go to Best Buy, and it's TVs everywhere and a shit ton of printers. And I was like, do people still fucking buy printers like this?
Yeah.
I was like, last time I checked, everyone fucking hates printers at this point. I was like, you know, it blew me away that they had that many printers on display for Black Friday. I was like, okay. But they had like all the newest phones, like multiples though. Like normally you go in there and it's like, okay, here's this little thing, here's this thing. They like added extra booths. You know, you walk into Best Buy and it's like, whoa. But yeah, like none of the shit was on sale though.
Oh yeah, no. Everything was
Yeah.
Blu-rays were all the same.
Yeah, the Blu-rays are the same fucking price. I like went to the gaming section. I was like, ooh, maybe that basket that's like $20 games will be like, hey, buy one get one, buy two get one, and it was like, no,
No, same.
fuck
same.
you, dude. There was a box that was like, hey, buy these games, get one half off, and it was like all the games that have come out in the past like 6 months that were shit. It was kind of like, hey, this is stuff we're not selling. Like, we could run this sale any time of the week and people still wouldn't give a shit. But we're putting it on Black Friday only.
Right.
And
That's awesome.
and I was just like, what the fuck happened to this whole Adagio event? It just doesn't work.
It only happens for the first 3 hours of Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I think that's terrible. Like, even if it started at midnight, that's still kind of shitty for people. Like, I mean, at least you can go have dinner, though. Like, you can be with your family. You just got to make sure you slept in the morning, and then, you wake up and then go to your family and then go to work. It's like, okay, it's a little annoying, but that's doable. That's totally doable. Midnight's fine. I'll back midnight. Sure, fuck it. As long as it's not like a weird place. One of the guys on YouTube I watch, Rich of Review Tech USA, he was talking about how he worked at a gym, like a few years back, and his boss was like, "Yeah, we're gonna be closed on Thanksgiving, but Rich, I need you to come in and work at midnight at a gym."
Like Friday gym?
Yeah, and he said literally 2 people showed up for like his entire like 8-hour shift, and he was like, what the fuck, you know, because he had to, you know, he was working like the morning of, so he actually had to sleep through Thanksgiving and stuff. He wasn't able to like spend time with his family. You know, like it's just weird, like people don't fucking value people anymore, and it's really sad. It's really sad.
All right, on a brighter
note,
note,
what's up?
I got nothing actually.
On a brighter note, the fucking world sucks.
Yeah.
On a brighter note,
on a brighter note, I'm pretty sure all of us actually like rocked the holiday like the real way. Yeah.
Yeah. Spent time with family.
Spent time with family. Got to eat good food. It was definitely a good time.
And we did it by rejecting corporate America.
Oh yeah.
Fight the power.
Fight Amazon.
And you can't say that, motherfucker. You work there. Like, they'll fire your ass. Don't
Censor.
cool that down, man. Cool that down.
Fight me, Amazon.
Fight
Dare you?
Jeff Bezos himself is like, all right, bitch, get over here.
He's the one watching.
Hey, Jeff, you got my number. I got yours.
You've spoken with him on the phone before, actually.
I have.
He has a crazy Amazon story, actually.
Yeah.
Like
this is
tells you how bad the logistics at least were, kind of still are, but they've worked out the kinks a bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell that.
Okay, so this is a story from 4 years ago.
Don't say the building or anything. That might get you fired. So just say that you were.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say the building number.
Or the position. Just say.
So
it was a pallet with
basically
drones.
It was not a pallet. It was basically a truck of drones.
Oh, a whole truck.
It was
got the story wrong.
Yeah, it was $400,000 worth of drones that came in, and the vendor, whose name shall be the
vendor. That's their name.
Vendor. That's it. They sent this purchase order that said, "Hey, we're sending all these 200 drones that are all black." But they were actually green. So
the computer doesn't like.
The computer hates this.
Yeah, you can't. You basically didn't get the items. That's how it is, and you have to audit it out.
Basically, what ended up happening was, I had to go and I was like telling everyone, take these off the line, don't receive them, don't take the number off of the purchase order, don't use that. But I couldn't stop everyone.
People did what they weren't supposed to.
There's so many people on Amazon. I couldn't stop over 100 people from doing something.
Yeah, because you got to run around. And at the pace to going, you're like, you have to be 5 different people to go. To even make half of that. And
what ends up happening is some idiot, I can't remember who it was, they actually used the one from the purchase order and started receiving them. And then they told someone else, hey, I can receive them. Here, just use this. Next thing you know, all of them get received.
A whole truckload.
A whole truckload of drones are received as the wrong drone.
To make the long story short, it was a couple $100,000 worth of product.
I was about to get fired on the spot.
That have to be audited. Yeah.
I was about to get fired, and I had to track down every last bit and be like, this was the guy who actually made the first sticker. And then I had to do a audit, and I had to actually contact Jeff Bezos himself at 2 a.m, where he is not happy that he's getting a call from a tier 1 associate saying, hey, someone fucked up so hard that I can't even talk to a regional manager to get this fixed because it requires your permission to get fixed.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's like this manager can only get rid of this much problem, and then this manager can only get rid of this much of a problem.
So the tier goes up and
goes all the way up to the big man himself, who's he's a billionaire, and he's just sitting there like, why the fuck do I hire all these people if I have to wake up at 2 a.m. for some fucking drones? I would be pissed.
Oh, I would.
Oh
be
my
livid,
god!
Because what happens is, he was like, yeah, my whole house just explodes with noise when I get a call like this because every single like phone in his house goes off at the same time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because it's actually a process where you have to like talk to a whole bunch of people, and then they're like, all right, we're gonna submit the ticket now. You're gonna get on your little program to actually call, and it's gonna automatically put you directly to Jeff Bezos. And it was like, okay. And then next thing you know, my screen starts ringing, and I'm like, oh shit, it's happening.
It's the man himself. That's crazy
What?
though. They're $1 trillion company, and they had fuck ups that big. That just goes to tell you can fuck up pretty hard and still be really good.
I would think they would check the inventory before it even gets to anywhere.
That's what I was trying
That's
to
what
do.
he was doing.
Sure,
I
he
was
saying.
literally trying to stop people from receiving it because I was like, hey, this isn't the right item.
But you get that one genius like, let's go.
No, you get the 10 geniuses that are just like, man, fuck it, dude. I'm on autopilot. I'm just getting paid basically minimum wage. Fuck it.
Hey guys, there's this thing on the purchase order. It says the drone, and this says the drone, and it says the right name, and it's the same product. It's different colored, dumbass.
Yeah, I've been in receiving when I worked there before. I've seen stuff like that, or specifically on canned fruit. It happens a lot on canned fruit because when you get a pallet of canned fruit, it looks all the same, but then it's like these are pineapple chunks, and this is pineapple puree,
and that's pineapple
Difference.
slices.
Yeah, these are pineapple slices. They're different. They all says pineapple, and they're all in the same sized can. They're just not the same, and you have to look at it. But if you're just like mind running, like
Oh yeah, it's just can. It's a can.
fucking how everyone is in a minimum wage job, because you're just like, I just gotta get through this. It's just another day.
I have to do my time.
Just do put my time in, and you're just like, fucking okay, cat food. Yeah, it's cat food. Bam.
Cat on the bag.
And you're like, all right, just canned pineapple because they all say pineapple. Bam. You didn't look at it as pineapple chunks. It's like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's so like it sounds menial, but when you have to look at like 2,000 pallets a day, the lines get blurred. We're only human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't think you're human. They got to be more than human. That's what they want. They're like,
They
you'll
want-
fire your ass.
They would have fired me on the spot, but instead I got the wonderful gift of being able to come back to Amazon whenever I want.
You got the wonderful gift of being able to say, hey, hold the fucking phone. He fucked up. Found him.
Hey.
If you didn't find him, you probably would have been fired.
Oh, I would have been fired for sure.
But did he get fired?
Oh yeah, he got fired. He
Yeah,
got fired. He got fired the minute I turned over the original one with his ID number on there, and they looked up the number and they're, that's the guy.
He didn't wait for it to get checked in. Motherfucker.
He didn't.
Work too fast, even though we tell everyone to work faster than normal.
He didn't read the label.
Yeah. To be fair though, they've grown as a decent company. They offer health benefits and all that stuff. That's
They give full benefits, and
they raised to $15
they're
an
the
hour.
first company to get $15 across the board.
Global. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny. Well, not funny story. Funny, not funny. They went on strike in Europe.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. On Black Friday.
Yeah, my stock.
Yeah.
My stock.
In Spain and in England
Spain.
and in Germany, I believe. Like a good chunk of the employees at Amazon were just like, hey, guess what? Peak season, Black Friday, we ain't working, dog.
They want them. Oh wow.
Yeah. No.
And they just stood out front and striked.
Here's the thing. Amazon, there's a lot of hate in the company.
Oh yeah.
And I mean a lot.
Yeah, like this isn't even like this is what I'm saying. Like if you just ever step foot in there, dude, like
You won't last a week before you hate the job.
you talk to it, like I'm one of the few people because I was in a good department. I worked at Inbound Dock.
You got to work in my department when I was working at
When I worked at you didn't work at LGB8. That was one that I worked at. I can say that I worked at that building. It's an official public knowledge building. I can't say what goes on in it, but I can say my management was really good. They were very positive people, and they understood that we were people, and it worked really well. And I got to play fucking arcade cabinets in the break room. I was the only guy who did it. It was really weird. I was like, dude, it's a free arcade. Why the fuck is no one else playing? The only other guy who played was an autistic kid. Maybe that says something about me. I don't know. I've been told I might be autistic quite a few times, but anyways, yeah, I would sit there and I was playing Pac-Man and Dig Dug and all that shit during my lunch breaks and whatnot. It was rad. I like, honestly, I have a good job now. And when I got it, I was like, I don't know if I want to leave this Amazon job. It's kind of cool.
Because they got the arcade.
Yeah, but Eddie, did you talk to anyone else? Well, not even just the arcade, just because the management and everything. It was all like comfortable. I was like, I'm totally down with this job right now. But you talk to anyone who worked or works at Amazon, they all fucking hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I can attest to that.
I don't know anyone else that talks positively on
Actually,
them.
wait. When we worked at the same building, that was a cool building for the most part.
Yeah.
But then again, I was running the department.
Well, that's just because I think it's mostly because we were working together, so we were homies in the same place, and our management was good.
Yeah.
The upper management wasn't.
Yeah.
Upper management.
The one guy in above me was great. Steve was a great guy.
Yeah. I don't even know if you're allowed to say Steve, but
yeah.
No,
but I didn't say what building.
That's
I
true.
just said Steve.
yeah, we just said and Steve's such a generic name.
Steve.
So
Steve's a very good
Anyways.
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi himself, man.
Buscemi was
He
there.
ships on Amazon every now and then.
But yeah, that's the thing. It always comes down to management. I think the problem is like everyone is just so droning that like by the time they get to management, they're just like, I'm gonna fucking be a dick too. Fuck it. So I don't know if that's the thing. Like they really that's the only critique. But that's like the critique to everyone. You're like you hear that all the time from like big business advice things. They're like, the number one thing that destroys a company is bad management. You know, like employees have shown that if you have a bad manager, you will have bad productivity. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty true. I worked nice and hard when my managers were good, and I was like, cool, they understand when the shit hits the fan. It's not our fault. It's literally just the name of the game.
How about when you had those fake managers who were like super nice, but then when they know everything is going terrible and they give you shit.
Yeah, right.
That is the definition of Amazon. They'll be.
You know what's funny though is we hit our marks, fucking in the other department that I work like with the good management. Like one time the fucking machine broke, just like the whole fucking factory. It was bad.
I love when the machines break.
This was way worse. This was
No, I've been inside a facility shut down for a week.
That's what happened, and they were like, "This is a big deal," but it all worked well, but they understood about it. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. I'm gonna go ahead and text right here. We're almost done, anyways.
Yeah.
Technically. Go ahead and talk real quick while I set a text to.
Remember, guys, always buy brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar, yeah.
Yeah, brick and mortar.
Spend time with your families.
Yeah.
Sit down on the couch and play video games with your brothers.
We need to bring our
let's not be
economy
sexist.
back to the middle class rather than feed it all to Jeff Bezos and his golden mansion with 1,000 telephones.
Yep.
All
right, that's the Nerd Dungeon. Okay. Hope you guys had fun. We love you, and see you guys next week, 7 to 9 p.m. Saturdays.
Bye.
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 You know the mic's quick.